Hello and welcome to Conversations with Pascale and Marléne. And it's great to be back. And this week we're going to be looking at the subject of Christmas. What does Christmas mean for you? And how can you look at Christmas from maybe a different perspective this year? So I'm Marléne Rose Shaw, therapist and coach and self-help author. And I help couples and individuals have great relationships and great confidence. And Pascale?
Thank you. Hello, I'm Pascale Lane. I'm a therapeutic relationship and confidence coach, and I help women to have better relationships with their partner, with their children, and mostly with themselves.
That's the most important. That's where it starts.
Most important, absolutely, where everything starts.
So Christmas. You looking forward to Christmas this year, Pascale?
Happens every year. I'm never ready for it. Never ready for Christmas.
Happens every year, does it? Oh gosh.
It does. It happens every year.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I think some people plan for Christmas months ahead, don't they? And then there's a lot of us who sort of say, oh goodness, it's the 23rd. It's like, I've just realized Christmas is day after tomorrow. Yeah. So what's your experience of Christmas and your clients' experience of Christmas, Pascale?
Well, my experience of Christmas is in kind of two parts, really. I've got children now, so my perspective on Christmas is different because Christmas is all about them and their joy and their happiness, and I kind of get into the festive season. I'm not a fan of Christmas, if I'm honest with you. I always found Christmas very difficult. I have, for as long as I can remember, I've always found Christmas really difficult. I grew up with divorced parents from a very young age. And even though neither of them ever put any pressure on us as children, never had any no bad feeling or malice or anything like that. I was always a really highly sensitive child, and I was always aware that one parent was on their own at Christmas, and I hated that. I really hated that. And like I said, that was no doing of theirs. It was just fact, and it was just a fact that I took on board emotionally. So I've never really liked it because there's always so much hype around family, around gatherings, around it being joyful and it being happy. And I think if you have that, that's wonderful. Like, relish in it, love it, love the abundance of it. But I know that there are so many people that don't have that. And I know for my clients, so many of my clients who aren't with their partner and don't get to spend Christmas with their children. So I just think it's very hard. I think it's, and I suppose that's why we're talking about it today, because ultimately Christmas is what you make it. And it is, to an extent, around making it as wonderful as we can. But I suppose I always have that little I have that little caveat in my head that some of my family are on their own. Lots of families are on their own, and that it's not always easy. So I enjoy the joy that my children have. I enjoy people's lights. I enjoy the Christmas spirit, but I look forward to it being over, if I'm honest.
And it's interesting, isn't it? Because you know, Christmas is sort of, just intensifies everything that's going on in your life, be it positive or negative. It just intensifies. And what you're describing there in your childhood was emotions, you know, the emotions that you felt about one or other parent being by themselves and taking on that responsibility. And I think Christmas does that. It sort of brings up the emotions that we feel about things in life anyway, but it just heightens it. It just makes it very, very clear. Because it's Christmas, we're meant to be a certain way. And if life isn't like that, then you really notice that contrast, I think. But there is something, isn't there, about taking personal responsibility. And I think, again, Christmas is, you know, it's a kind of a placeholder for other things. It's like a placeholder for happiness. You know, if you can take, we need to take personal responsibility for our happiness in a general sense. And so we need to take personal responsibility for the type of Christmas that we have. If there's an extreme situation, like we've lost somebody, or somebody can't see their kids or something, then clearly, you know, there's no point saying be positive and put a smile on your face, because, you know, that's a very difficult experience. But in a general sense, I think sometimes people go, oh, Christmas, you know, I've got to go and stay with these relatives, and I've got to do this stuff and pretend to be happy, and I don't like Uncle Joe and, you know, Aunt Mary and that sort of thing. And actually, we can take responsibility for what we put in our heads, what thoughts we choose to have. And we can take responsibility to have positive thoughts. We can make an intention to have the best day or the best Christmas holiday that we can have.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, you know, if we consider, like, if somebody really doesn't enjoy it, it's just a day, you know. And aren't Susie or whoever you said and Uncle Joe, you know, we obviously everybody's family. I mean, like, you know, we're in the business of family dynamics. I mean, family dynamics are complicated. We know that. Or a lot of family dynamics are very complicated. But I suppose it's also about thinking about, it's everybody else's Christmas too, right? So actually, we might find it difficult, but actually we've got no idea really what goes on in other people's heads and in other people's lives. And actually, to an extent, we have a responsibility to, well, you might disagree with this. We have a responsibility to other people to not burden, to not dampen their joy as well. Mm-hmm. So I can detach from my emotions most of the time fairly. Like if I'm struggling with something, I can actually kind of detach. I can cut the cord on it, and to just smile and just get through, and not kind of like push that negativity out to everybody else, but actually just kind of go. You know, I'm very go with the flow, Marléne. You know me. As much as possible, I will generally tend to just go with the flow and get it done. I haven't always been like that, but I've definitely acquired that skill and ability over the years. And also, like, just wanted it to just be easy. I was writing something down earlier, and it was just like, let it be easy. And it's just like, just let it be easy. Just like, it's a day. Just do it. Just do what you need to do. Come out without any cuts and bruises, emotionally speaking, hopefully physically. And just let it be easy. That's kind of, and I'm lucky because I've got my children. So for me now, for the last 10 years, it's all very much about the girls and the excitement that they have and the joy. I've also got a lot of loss around Christmas. I lost my dad, my maternal and paternal grandmother, not all in the same year, but 23rd, 24th, 25th of December. So there's a lot of pain for me at Christmas, but it's not all about me, right? It's about my children, it's about my family and my husband. And I always have an open door policy at Christmas, which is anybody who wants to join us for Christmas. It's never a shut down family affair. It's always an open door policy. So it's about sharing that as well. And that's kind of like my Christmas joy, if you like, is being able to make the most of what we have and not do what we need to do. I don't mean that in a dismissive way, but you know, it's everybody else's Christmas too, and they deserve to have a nice Christmas, is what I mean. It's not all about me.
And I think that there's something, isn't there, about in what you say, because when we think about, you know, not enjoying something, we're thinking very much about ourselves, which is fine. But when we flip it around to thinking about other people's experience, then it really lifts that heaviness, doesn't it? And actually, you know, I'm thinking, what are the values what value, you know, to take personal responsibility for Christmas, we can say, what values do I want to uphold this year, this Christmas? You know, what's my word for Christmas? You know, and actually, I suppose the main value is love, isn't it? So how can I offer love? How can I make Christmas something that is about offering love? And in what way, what would that look like? What would I do? It could be all sorts of things, couldn't it? It could be donating to charity. It could be going and doing something for somebody. It could be calling somebody up. It could be smiling at Uncle Joe and thinking he's a bit of a silly Billy, really, isn't he? You know, bless him, let him get away with it. You know, it could be all sorts of things to offer love and offering love to ourselves as well, just to be light-hearted and, as you say, just let it be easy, but to actually have an energy to think, what energy, what value, what energy do I want to focus on this year? Is it giving? Is it compassion? Is it, you know, and love? I like love because love to me is an umbrella word for all kindness and acceptance and compassion and all of those things that come into it. So I guess a perspective is maybe to say it's love. It's the love holiday rather than the Christmas holiday, you know, just to sort of think of it in that way. And we can make something really great then, can't we?
Yeah, absolutely. And I have to, because it's niggling me, so I have to say it. So I know that I don't know how many people are religious these days and how many people do think about like the obvious part of Christmas, but actually God is love. And so actually it's beautiful that you say that. I can't let it slide without saying, you know, God is love, and actually Christmas is about, you know, Jesus. And actually, whether or not one is religious, whether or not you believe that he was the Son of God, whether or not you believe that he even existed, I am religious. I do go to church, and I have my own interpretation of religion and the Bible. But I do believe there was a man called Jesus, and I do believe that his message was of love. So regardless of whatever one wants to believe about organized religion, which is, I think, the part most people have a problem with, actually it is about love. Like, in every sense, it is about love. And I suppose that's why, I suppose that's the bit that kind of gets me through. And I suppose that's the bit about, I like to, I'm a very loving person. And, you know, even like, it was very much my mum's trait to have an open door policy at Christmas. And I just really like that, because it is just about spreading the joy. You pop in for a mince pie and a glass of wine. Like, you don't have to stay, but just kind of like just getting in that. And it really helps because generally speaking, people are happy at Christmas, actually. Like there might be points in the day that they find difficult, but actually, if you meet somebody with open arms and a big smile and kind of pass them a glass of wine or, you know, whatever, you can't help but not smile and be happy. And even as I'm saying it, my heart is kind of
feel that warmth
going warm, you know, like, because it's lovely. It's lovely. So it's not like, it doesn't need to be all doom and gloom. I think part of the thing that I recognize in myself is that I have this, I have a very a very deep wired response that I hate Christmas. But actually I don't hate Christmas. You know, it's just like, as I'm talking about it now, I've got so many lovely memories of Christmas that I can't say I hate Christmas. I just find it very difficult. And I think there's a difference. You know, we can find something, we can find so many things in our life difficult. It doesn't mean that we hate them. It just means that we just acknowledge that it isn't a walk in the park.
We take those things, as I said, and we intensify them at this period of time in the year called Christmas, don't we? And actually, when we think about that, then we have the choice then to turn that around into something, focus on love, so that the rest of the year is a more loving and positive experience as well. Because Christmas is kind of the pinnacle of everything, isn't it? I'm not religious particularly at all. I just like what's you know, what's at the root of everything, which is love. So awesome. So I guess for anybody watching this who might be finding Christmas a bit of a challenging experience, it might be worth asking yourselves the question, how can I bring love into my life this Christmas? What would it look like? And as I say, it could look different for everybody, might see it, you know, differently. So there's no right or wrong about that. But just to ask that question, because putting that question into your subconscious, even just asking it without even worrying about the answer, the subconscious will start popping up things over the next few days after you ask.
Absolutely.
Things will start popping up, coming up, ideas and thoughts and loving experiences, and really just making that intention to bring love into your life. You'll find that people start saying things, connecting, turning up, suggesting things, and you'll be happy. So how can I bring love into my life this Christmas? That's the question.
Yeah, absolutely. And it doesn't, I don't think it needs to be big things. I think it can be little things. And actually, what, you know, what, just as I just said that, you know, I'm reminded that just before we started this, I was telling you about my listening to the podcast in the morning, Gabby Bernstein, and she's all about gratitude and, you know, the universe and what have you. And actually, that already is shifting me. 2 or 3 days in, I can already feel my mood lifting and feeling lighter. And it's been a bit of a difficult time lately, and that is bringing more love into my life because it's reconnecting me to gratitude, it's reconnecting me to the universe, it's connecting me to source, and doing all of the things that you and I both, you know, believe, practice as part of our energetic presence on this earth.
So how can I bring love into my life this Christmas? That's the beginning, the middle, and the end of it, really, isn't it? As they say.
Yeah,
the
absolutely. And goes without saying that if anybody needs help and wants to talk about any of this, and is having difficulties like any of the difficulties that we've talked about, or are having any other difficulties that they want to talk about, and they need help to get through not just Christmas, but through this period and into 2024 with joy and love and joy and self-love and happiness. How can they get in touch with you, Marléne?
Get in touch with me by sending me a DM here on Facebook, or just message me through Instagram. You can find me, or just go to the website. It'll all be in the comments here. I'm thinking that bringing love into your life is self-love. If you need some help, reach out and book some sessions.
Yep, absolutely. The ultimate Christmas gift.
Mm-hmm.
Self-love. And same for me too. Get in touch with me, send me a DM. Or my call booking link will be in the comments below. And both Marléne and I offer a free complimentary call. So you've got nothing to lose and absolutely everything to gain.
No requirement to wear a Santa hat either.
No.
Unless you want to, which is fine too.
Unless you want to.
Okay.
Fabulous, Marléne. Have a wonderful Christmas, my love.
Bye.
Bye.